Trans people are dangerous seems to be the narrative that they're going with. They want people to believe that the medications that we take cause us to be dangerous, more dangerous than the average person. First off, not all trans people take medication. Those of us that do take bioidentical hormones that exist naturally in humans' bodies. Our hormone levels are regularly checked to make sure that they fit in between the approved and common levels for people that are born the way that they think of themselves as adults. Levels that match the levels of most women and most men. And out of these hormones, the one hormone that could be thought of as dangerous would be testosterone, because we've all heard of roid rage. But it's funny because most men now are taking testosterone to boost their lacking levels. These people want you to believe that trans people hurt children. Well, what about parents hurting children? Are their children more mistreated by their family, their parents, than LGBTQIA children? These people who want to be thought of and think of themselves as loving parents think nothing of tossing away their LGBTQIA child like a piece of trash. Doesn't seem very loving to me. Does it seem loving to you? These people, they love to stand on their soapbox and point out all the things that ail the world today. I'm not a parent, but even I sometimes have to ask, what's going on with those children and those teens? Young women seem worse off than ever, and young men are locked in the basement, staring into their computer screens. We hear about depression, loneliness, anger. They will stand on their soapboxes complaining about everything that's affecting them, affecting their youth, affecting young adults. They never once stop to think that they raised them, that they're their parents, that nearly every problem they're complaining about results from poor parenting. They're so busy blaming everybody else for how their kids turn out, they take no personal responsibility for it, as though they weren't there the whole time. You know that some states are trying to pass laws that will remove body parts from somebody who is a PDF file, understanding that a surgery like that will keep them from reoffending, but then turn around and accuse trans women who have had that same surgery of committing offenses that they couldn't possibly commit. Make it make sense. I'm no biblical scholar, but doesn't the Gospel of Paul recommend that you become a eunuch rather than fornicate? For 300 years, didn't the church pick some unsuspecting young boy and put him through that surgery so that he could sing the high parts in the choir? 300 years of hurting young boys rather than letting a young woman sing in the choir. Yet today, if a person chooses that surgery for themselves, they're vilified. Every year, the earth becomes less hospitable for us. Billionaires are building rockets so they can find a new place to live. Water on the planet that we depend on to live is getting filthier and filthier. Food is becoming more scarce. Fires, floods, storms are all becoming more and more common and worse than ever. But yet, people keep having babies. Why? You can't really believe that things aren't going to get way worse before they get better, if they get better. The fact of the matter is you didn't really think about what the child will have to experience. You're having a baby, you had a baby recently because you wanted to have a baby and you're hoping that things get better, but you wanted a baby. It's about you and not the baby. Maybe when people wanting to have babies learn to parent well, that'll be the first lesson, is to think about the child before you think about yourself and your wants. And rather than blaming everybody else, to stop and ask, what could I have done better as a parent that could have avoided this?